Hey, listen, 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 hey, listen, oh my God.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. Uh, yeah, a little house music, a little something different. I know a lot of you guys don't really listen to that stuff, so I have a pretty wide variety of music that I like. But yeah, I always like to give a few minutes just to see if more people can join. I don't tend to do a lot of planning before I do the live stream, so I kind of like say, "Hey, I'm gonna go on," and then it's not the same like I guess with other people where you know when live stream's gonna start at a specific time. As you guys know, this is my channel is not the most professional, so I kind of just do it as it comes. So yeah, we got more people coming in. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I guess the topic for today is going to be obviously some of the penalties that, you know, uh, uh, that were set for the week and what happened with that. So let me see. I'm going to read a few comments and then I'm going to get started. Okay, so let's see. Okay, everybody can hear me loud and clear. Very good. Thank you guys for coming. We got a new guy, and Andy Pegasus Tate. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I'm not gonna lie. It's exciting. Every time that I've done a new live stream, I'm starting to see more people. It's still a small channel, but it's nice to see people start to like uh, gravitate and come and stuff. So I'm not gonna lie. It's exciting. So it's good to see things grow a little bit. Let's see. Listening to you talk is one of the greatest things I have the pleasure of experiencing on this earth. JC 1424. That's a bit over the top. In order for it to be believable, you gotta tone it back a bit. I appreciate it, but that's clearly trolling. So you're not gonna fool me. Bobby Birch, you should play NASCAR Racing 2003. You can use your wheels. Yes, I've had people offer to help me with that. Here's the thing, and it's the same thing with NASCAR Thunder and doing all that. My time is very limited. All right, as you could see, half of the live streams I do from work. I'm at work right now, so it's hard for me to find time to invest to get into that, right? Right now, the little bit of gaming time I have, I try to get some iRaces in. I still play Red Dead Redemption. I'm addicted to that game. And I still play Max Payne 3. So I just don't have a lot of time on my hands to dedicate to stuff like that. And I have a motion simulator. I spent a lot of money on my setup and I want to get the most of it. And that's why I spend more time on iRacing. So I do appreciate it. I know you guys have been recommending that for a long time, but I don't have a lot of time. So, and I'm still waiting to see if somebody runs with my idea of maybe setting up a league on iRacing where a lot of the YouTube community, um, people with a channel, plus some of you guys, we can maybe have a league, right? Where we can once a week run a race, have a whole point system and everything. I think that would be cool. I really hope somebody does it because I'm not smart enough to do it. It takes a lot of work and it would be over my head and I would screw it up. So I can't do it, but I'm kind of trying to convince somebody out there to say I know how to do it. I'll just do it and maybe we can get other people in the community to do it. And I could be a part of that. I'd love to do it. So, okay. So, AC, hi Disco, what's your favorite NASCAR race you've ever watched start to finish? Gee, that's hard. I've been watching NASCAR races for about over a little over 20 years. And man, that's a tough one. I've been to a lot of live races. Um, I don't know. I don't want to be biased and say and like pick a race where somebody that I like might have won. I mean, just what was an entertaining start to finish. Yeah, that's tough to just come up and say, yeah, this one. There were a couple of really good races last year. That Coke 600 was it was up there. Like for as long as a race as that was, I don't remember any part of that race that I didn't enjoy. I don't know. I don't know. It's I can't honestly come up with something at the moment. If it comes to me, I'll say it. I've seen a lot of really good races. Unfortunately, I have to go back a ways because I'm not a big fan of the way NASCAR has gone in the past. I would say 10 years. Pushing pack racing, the lower horsepower, the higher downforce. I'm not crazy about it. I think I'd have to go back to before. So yeah, I don't. Nothing comes to mind right away. Let's see. Andy Pegasus Tate. What if it's streaming? Oh, is he streaming? Oh man, if I would have known he was streaming, I wouldn't have done it. Um, you know, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just went over there and checked that out. So yeah, but I'm sure he's gonna be talking about the same stuff I'm talking about. Clear audio, JP Kelly. Thank you. How was my day? Well, typical day. I'm just at work, nothing special, but I've been checking, the Twitter feed and stuff like that. And you know, the news of the day is the penalties. I'm going to get into that in a second. So let's see. Hey, NASCAR Kid Formula GT, how's it going? Finally got to be here live. Bobby Birch. Yeah, you know what? I I don't know when I'm going to do a live stream. It's something I just decide to do it. And then I posted it on Twitter and I put, that disco ball up. That's going to be like my bat signal. If you guys remember the old Batman TV series from way back in the 60s, uh, they would put the bat signal up to the clouds, to the sky, and somehow Batman would see that and then respond. Although it doesn't make sense because like, how did he know where to go? But in any, I always do this. I start talking, then I go off into a tangent. But so that's how I'm gonna do it. I try to get people sort of notified, and then I said, hey, I'll be doing it in 30 minutes. I know there's better ways of notifying people, but I got a nice group of guys that popped in, showed up, so thank you. Okay, glad you made it live. Brian Burley II, how you doing? Glad you made it. Hendrick points playoff penalty was equivalent to MLB suspending a pitcher for World Series for hitting a batter in spring training. Can't punish teams and drivers in October for March activities. I don't know. I'm gonna get into this in a second. Like Chastain's driving. Uh, I don't know what you mean, but Chastain is. I'm done. I can't. I really tried to see what and he's talented, right? I'm not here to criticize his talent, but that's what makes it worse. He's always involved in something, and I know there's people, oh, it wasn't his fault. Somebody else pushed it, blah, blah, blah. Listen, everybody that took that inside line at the end of the race is to blame. If you took that line and went all the way to that inside wall, you had no business being there. So how did you think it would turn out? So I blame everyone in that inside line. Just like Joey Logano last year at that Indy road course when he went all the way to the inside, almost in the pit area, and he was like dive bombing, and everybody was like, where was he going? When you make a decision like that, it's your fault. So I don't care if it's Bowman, I don't care if it's Chastain, I don't care if it's Briscoe or anybody in that row. All those guys that went all the way to the inner wall, They're all to blame. That's the way I see it. Dylan James TV, welcome. Good to see you. He says, the man, the myth, the legend, Disco. Thank you. High praise indeed. I don't know. Uh, I don't. Then JC says, I said one of the greatest things. Okay, LOL. I appreciate, but it's so over the top. Some of these comments, I don't know if I'm being trolled, and but I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Sam Smith is in. I will love to be in it. Yeah, man. Somebody out there who knows what they're doing, man. Let's do a fucking league for YouTubers. And maybe we can get What If in there, and we can get maybe Jeff Faviano, decides to do it, right? Other YouTubers with YouTube channels, and some of you guys as well, right? You can get 40 guys in there, so I would love to be a part of that. And it really does elevate the iRacing experience. That's one thing I could tell people. It has its ups and downs, but if you can find a league, a good league, that's the most fun I've had. And I've only been in one league. Because of my work schedule, it's hard for me to find something that fits. But I really think a league for YouTubers, and then all of the people that follow these YouTubers can all come and watch these races. I think that would be cool. Like, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't even want to try. I would fuck it up, and I don't want to be in that position. Somebody out there who knows what they're doing, you know, let's get this going. Maybe Friday nights, man. That's perfect for me. Um, I would love to be a part of that, right? So I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep bringing this stuff up from time to time. Nobody's listening yet, but maybe somebody will. So Bobby Birch says, "Did you know that Daniel wrecked Bell earlier in the Coda race?" Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. Somebody did post that, I think, somewhere on Twitter. That was a bit over the top. So, although I think most of the race Daniel was just being aggressive, I felt like most of it was just rubbing and racing, right? Everybody says that beating and little beating and banging and rubbing is racing is acceptable, right? And I agree. But there's a line. And when you cross the line, now you got to rein that in. So yes, I did see the Bell incident. I didn't see it during the race. So after seeing that moment, yeah, that's really not good. And I would say Daniel needs to pull it back a little bit. I can't co-sign what he did there. So yeah, I did see it. It is what it is, and I don't support it. But speaking of the penalties, Daniel got hit with a $50,000 penalty, and that's it. So if you saw my last live stream, I went out of my way to make it 100% clear to everybody. Even though I'm a Daniel Suarez fan, I in no way support what he did at the end of the race. He deserves to be penalized. And I said, whatever NASCAR decides, just accept it, don't appeal it, and move on. That being said, I'm going to tell you that penalty was bullshit. $50,000 is nothing. It's a joke. And by the way, most of the time, not always, these owners pay these penalties for the drivers. Because most of them, they kind of support the driver and they're like, I'll take care of it. 50,000, even if Daniel pays it out of his pocket, it's nothing. It's a joke. I I think it's bullshit. And I'm telling you this as a Suarez fan. So, one thing I hate about sports fans in general, not just NASCAR fans, I've talked about this in the past. A lot of people have a hard time separating themselves from being a fan and being an objective viewer. And I try really hard to make sure that when I talk about certain things, that I don't let my bias get in the way, right? So I try to give you full disclosure. You know I'm a Daniel Suarez fan. You know there's certain drivers I don't like. You know there's certain drivers I like. I don't think any of that is a secret. However, I try to call it like I see it. And that penalty on Suarez is a joke. It's a slap on the wrist. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Ty Gibbs, who I don't like, was hit with a 25-point penalty last year for doing the same thing. So I thought if you give Suarez the same penalty, I could live with that. 25 points is it's not just a slap on the wrist. With the current point system we have today, 25 points is a big hit. Okay? It's a big hit. It's a deterrent, right? I could live with that. That to me would have been fair. 50,000 and that's it. That's a joke. So I hope it's clear to people. I don't want people to think, oh, you're a Suarez fan, you're happy with it. I'm not, because I'm more as a NASCAR fan. I want to see the sport of NASCAR do well. It's not going to do well when people look at it and they say, what the fuck's going on? How come you penalize one guy one way, another guy another way? You said one thing, you did another thing. You have rules, but then in this instance, you dropped the hammer on one guy like they did to Keselowski last year, and then now you try to drop the hammer on Hendrick, and you have this appeals panel that says no, we agree they broke certain rules, but we're only going to do this, and the points go back to the drivers. That's where you invite criticism. So, how do you expect people in general to respect NASCAR as a sport when this kind of shit goes on? That's what concerns me first as a fan. Before I'm a Suarez fan or anybody else, I'm a NASCAR fan. And just to root for people I like and to say, well, as long as my guy got away with it and this other guy I don't like, he got hammered, I'm happy. And I see a lot of that on social media. I see a lot of people going back and forth saying things like, oh, there's a lot of butthurt fans who hate Hendrick or Hendrick haters and they're not happy and ha ha ha. But to me, it's not about that. It's like you have rules. Are you going to enforce these rules or not? You can't be a legitimate sport and have stuff like this continue to happen. You can't. And sports fans, that's the one thing that really bothers me. A lot of people just can't separate the two things. They only look at things as who's involved. If it's my driver, then I look at it this way. If it's a different driver that I don't like or don't care about, then I look at it that way. Same situation. I can't do that. I don't want to be one of those fucking blind fucking fanatics. So yeah, Suarez needed to get hit with points. So that's not good. And the Hendrick thing, I'm scratching my head because they're not saying, hey, they didn't. We thought they broke certain rules, but they didn't. They said, yeah, they did break those rules, but we're gonna give them this. Then there's people saying, well, yeah, it's not the driver's fault. They didn't make that decision, so they deserve their penalties, their points back. But my thing is, where is the fucking deterrent? If it's only gonna be a fine, and then you suspend crew chiefs, a team like Hendrick, they have people in the shop that are fucking ready to step in anytime. It always feels like there is no consistency. That's my problem. If you have a rule book, how hard is it to enforce the rules? Either somebody broke the rules or they didn't. It's not rocket science. So I'm going to talk real quick. I'm sorry. I am going to get back to the uh, comments, okay? But the other thing I want to get to before I forget is this motorsport appeals panel. I'm gonna tell you something, right? If you notice what's happening, you got people saying, "Well, it wasn't NASCAR." NASCAR is actually upset. They're tweeting. They're saying we don't agree with this panel's decision, okay? And I'm going to explain to you what I suspect. This is just speculation on my part, but my speculation is based on um, my a lifetime of following politics. I understand politics. This is politics. Make no mistake. I can see it a mile away. This panel, their job, they are playing bad cop. That's what they're doing. NASCAR's good cop, they're playing bad cop. And what I mean by good cop, bad cop, it's not the severity of the penalties and things like that. It's the popularity of the decision. So NASCAR tried to come after them hard, right? So uh they're playing good cop because they're actually trying to do the right thing. All right, yeah, I'm not going to confuse myself. But then you have this appeals panel. So their job is to come in and water down the penalty. So they're saying, well, we know that they broke some rules, violated some stuff, but we're not going to do what NASCAR tried to do. We're just going to water it down and everybody walks away. Hendrick is thrilled, okay? NASCAR is telling everyone how mad they are, but they're doing it from the angle of, hey, we tried to do the right thing. It's not our fault. So the job of this appeals panel is to be bad cop, which is to make the unpopular decision. Yeah, it's popular amongst Hendrick fans, but you know, a lot of people look at this and they say, "What the fuck is this? This is a joke." This is why NASCAR has a credibility issue. These things bother me. I want to see consistency across the board. Credibility is everything. And people walk away saying, well, certain teams get certain treatment, other teams don't. How come Keselowski and Roush Racing got hit one way, or Roush Fenway, Keselowski, whatever the fuck, RFK Racing, sorry. They get hit one way, these guys get hit another way. This guy got this penalty, this guy, same thing, only got a $50,000 penalty when Ty Gibbs last year, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he got hit with a 25-point penalty. So I was under the assumption that that's what they would do with Suarez. This is what we did last year. This is what we'll do this year and move on. And a points penalty is the only thing that really these teams feel. The money is nothing. So it's this inconsistency. Why did you just come up and say, well, this guy gets 50,000, this guy's going to hit 25,000 plus 25 points? Why? It's the same. They pretty much did the same thing. So the job of this appeals panel, in my opinion, is to be a buffer for NASCAR. This is politics. NASCAR needs somebody else to be the bad guy, where they could point and say, they made that decision, not us. We're not happy with the decision. And as you see, if you follow on social media, that's what they're doing. They're telling everybody, hold on a second, let me check my battery. Okay, I'm good. I don't want to lose the stream in the midstream like with my last live stream. But that's what it is. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've been following politics my whole life. I know how these games are played. So that's what's going on. And I don't like that bullshit. Why do you have an outside board that decides how penalties are or rules are enforced in your sport. You're NASCAR. You make the rules. You enforce the rules. What's the deal with this? Listen, I get it. You need some kind of appeals process and you need somebody who's unbiased, right? So I have to admit, I'm not sure what they could do, but I really am suspect of this appeals panel. Who's in this panel? Who's it made of? Who's connected? Who knows who? These decisions are wacky to me. So if you want to say, well, the drivers got their points back because they really don't make those decisions and they didn't race that part, then you really got to explain these fucking rules clearly to the public. And when you enforce these rules, you should know exactly what kind of penalty to dole out when someone breaks a certain rule. None of this should be a gray area. And I've seen teams punish drivers, I should say NASCAR punish drivers docking points for things that decisions they didn't make. These drivers don't make any of these decisions. They don't go in the shop and say, I want you to mess with this rear window panel and make sure that I get an aero advantage by doing this. Or I want you to go inside the firewall of the car and I want you to open this up over here so we get an aero advantage. These fucking drivers, they just get in the car and drive. But as a team, collectively, the only way you can punish a team is to dock drivers' points. I'm sorry, I know it doesn't sound fair, but they've done it in the past. My point is, if this is the way we're going to do it, then you need to be clear and just let people know. When these teams do things, this is how we're going to follow it. If this happened this way, we're going to have that. They have rule books. Don't let them fool you. The way they act is almost as if we're just making up the rules as we go, which kind of they are. But they have massive rule books like this. So that's how I feel about it. I hate the inconsistencies across the board. I know people are happy or mad depending on who they like and don't like. I hate that shit. And I don't want to be one of those people. So I don't care if it's Daniel Suarez. I don't care if it's Ty Gibbs. I don't care if it's Keselowski. I don't care who it is. Follow and enforce the rules. That's it. Rule books are very clear. And they act almost as if, well, we're kind of in this gray area. Now we need this appeals panel to make the final call. That's a cop out. That's a cop out. So that's my feelings on this appeal panel. I'm very skeptical and it sounds political to me. Let me get to some of these comments. All right, let's see. Hold on. Yes, I read that. NASCAR Kid Formula GT, your NASCAR gone and screw up this pack racing BS. Yep. They were chasing that for the past 10 years. This is why, if you notice, I don't know if you guys have seen, but throughout social media, people have been posting the ratings. The ratings are down every week. And these guys don't understand. They still want to defend Atlanta and this week, this abomination of a race last week. Oh, it's entertaining. All this. Well, if it's so fucking entertaining, why are ratings continuing to drop? They're lower than last year. So you keep telling me this is entertainment, and the viewing public obviously is letting you know whatever you're delivering here, you could call it entertainment if you want to. People are walking away. I feel like traditional racing, you don't need gimmicks. You don't need all these fucking green white checkers and these fucking ridiculous fucking crazy fucking endings to these races. The best part of this road course race was the middle when they were actually long green flag pit stops and strategy. When the booth was starting to talk about, look, Tyler Reddick and Byron were kind of starting to pull back because they don't have fuel to go to the end. Meanwhile, the Trackhouse cars are good to go. Suarez came from like sixth all the way to second or third when that caution came out. So the race was shaping up. That was exciting. Traditional old school racing. You don't need fucking gimmicks. And you got all these knuckleheads who come on and tell people, I don't care about all the wrecks at the end. I thought it was entertaining. It's a fucking circus. And NASCAR has been chasing these fucking low attention span people who easily get bored if the race is going green and there's not enough fucking passing and people are getting lapped. Guess what? That's fucking racing. It's a sport. But they don't want that. They want a predictable shit show. And like I said, if you want to argue it's entertainment and you like it, well, guess what? Most people don't like it. And I can say that with confidence because the ratings say the same thing. Where are all these fucking people who are walking away? Clearly, this entertainment product is not working for them. Ratings are going down, not up. If ratings were going up, maybe I'd have to fucking eat my words and say, you know what? I don't fucking like this, but everybody else seems to like it. I don't, they must be doing something right. They're not. And if you look at ratings throughout the past decade, it's a consistent downward spiral because NASCAR's pushing things in the wrong direction. And they're too dumb to stop and say, you know what? This shit's just not working. Let's pull back. Let's kind of go back in the other direction. Clearly, people want to see cars that are harder to handle, more tire wear, cars that you really have to drive. So maybe reducing horsepower and increasing downforce wasn't such a good idea. Common sense will tell you that. And I've been telling people since that All Star race in 2018, they were headed in the wrong direction. I warned everybody. I told people, be careful what you wish for. All these people that were excited after that stupid All Star race, I told people, this isn't going to work everywhere. It's entertaining at an All Star event because an All Star race has all these crazy breaks. So you get all these restarts. Every restart looks chaotic and crazy. And that's great at an All Star race. It's not a points event. Yeah, okay, fine. Then you try that shit every week, and now you destroy the fucking sport. NASCAR, I don't know how much more do the ratings have to go down before they say, you know what, this winning you're in shit, maybe that's by the way, that's contributing to these fucking crazy finishes. Because that's where people think I could steal a win here if I just dive bomb and take people out in front of me. Who cares? If I win, who cares? I'm in the playoffs, baby. So that's adding to the problem. Okay. JC1424. You could do Inception and watch his stream for a bit live and go into his chat. He would lose his marbles. Who are you talking about? Inception? Are you talking about What if's live stream? Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew he was live streaming. I really wouldn't want to live stream at the same time. Um, and I would have loved to join the live stream. It sucks. Um, like Chastain's, I should reel it back. Like Chastain's driving, yeah, yeah. Listen, I like compliments, but if it's too over the top, then it's like you're making fun of me, right? So I don't want to. I don't want to feel like I'm being trolled. Most road courses have a tight turn one. That's true, but there are better road courses, right? If you look at turn one at um, oh my God, I always do this. Oh, Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen is the best road course for stock cars. Like I don't think I've seen a bad race there. I'm not saying there's never been one, but most of the time it's been pretty good. But if you look at turn one there, yeah, it's tight, but it is a wide and real curvy turn, right? It's not a fucking sharp hairpin turn like fucking Coda. That's a hairpin turn. Even Martinsville is a better or at least more manageable curve. That's an insane turn one for stock cars. I'm sorry, Coda is just not made for stock cars. Now, the racing does get okay once you get past the first two laps, but that's the problem. Getting past that first lap is a fucking it's a chore. And also turn one at fucking in the Indy road course. It's a fucking right-handed turn. Well, is it a whatever it is? It's too sharp and too narrow. And you saw the funnel, and it happened more than once. And I promise you, the next time they come to Coda, it's gonna be the same unless NASCAR figures out a way to fix it. Now, one thing I've seen people suggest, and I wouldn't mind if they tried it, but I have to admit that I don't know if it would be enough to fix the problem. But single file restarts might help. The problem is, if you notice, right now it's double file restarts. So when they hit the corner, it goes from double file really quickly to six wide. So you're going from two to six immediately. So if you start single file, people are still going to dive bomb. They might dive bomb even more aggressively because instead of two cars ahead of you, it's single file. So now you're going to have people dive bomb the outside and the inside. There's more room to like make risky moves. They might get more aggressive. So I don't know. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just saying I don't know if that's the fix all solution. I don't know what the solution is, but personally, I was never a fan of adding Coda to the schedule. I never thought it was designed for stock cars. And it's just, there are better road courses. JC1424, I don't think it's trolling, just flattery. Uh, Thank you. I am flattered. Please don't take it the wrong way. I was kind of joking, but it was like, wow, it was really over the top. Brian Burley II, comments make it sound like Disco has groupies. Laugh my ass off. You see, it's just, yeah. Listen, man, uh, say what you want to say. I'm kind of joking around, but it is a bit over. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, he's just a regular dude with keys behind him. Yeah, yeah. I'm just a regular dude with a bunch of keys, man. That's a great way to put it. Dylan James says, I'm definitely not trolling. Honestly, love your videos. Speak the truth. Appreciate it. Thank you. Listen, I love you guys. You guys are loyal. You've been with me for a long time. I've been doing this for like over 10 years. And a lot of you guys, I've seen you around a long time. And I know you come because you honestly appreciate the content, right? Um, so I do appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Project 94, welcome. What's funny as hell is people don't like the NASCAR diecasts on the PTC crap mold, but they still buy it. Aren't we supposed not to pledge our money to companies that make cruddy products? I don't know what you're talking about, the diecast stuff. I don't really follow that, but I've always been an advocate. I don't care what product it is, whether it's a video game or anything. You don't just hand over your money blindly. That's why I tell people, if you pre-order a game, you are part of the problem. Don't pre-order shit. All I'm asking as a consumer, and this is just smart business for anybody, when a product is coming, here's the release day. Can you give it 2 weeks? That's it. 2 weeks gives you time to check out all the reviews, to read up on the product, to see everyone's reaction, and to see actual footage. And then you get a good idea of, hey, this actually does look worth my money. The company is going to get your money. If it's a good product, they're going to sell. But that's why they push pre-orders, because they want you to commit your money before you even know what you're getting. And that is bad. So, yeah, if it's a diecast, whatever it is, man, do your research, give it some time before you just hand over your money. And don't support bad products, man, because that only encourages people to make more bad products. Fox missed that wreck. Not surprised. What wreck? Or if you're talking about the Bell wreck, then yeah, that's why I missed it. Maybe if you're talking about that. Douglas Lintz, welcome to the chat. What do you think of the new Pepsi logo? Oh shit. I'm not sure I've seen it, or maybe I saw it and it just didn't register. I haven't seen it. I haven't noticed it. So I don't know. NASCAR Kid Formula GT. Leave to Fox to miss a wreck like that. Okay, I guess you're talking about the same wreck, and I'm assuming it's the was it Suarez Bell or I don't know. Wait, he got penalized. I did not see that. Who got penalized? Okay, I guess as we go down further, you guys will let me know. I'm a little lost on what you guys are hitting on. JC1424, I only buy authentics when they look good or are the only ones produced for a paint scheme. Okay, so sounds good. What amuses me about it is that NASCAR themselves are upset about the points penalty not being held. And that's the thing. Are they really upset or are they acting? Remember what I said? Good cop, bad cop? And I think they're playing the role of like trying to do the right thing, and it's like it's not our fault. It's this fucking panel. And now the panel gets to take all the blame. The panel doesn't care what we think as fans. They don't care. NASCAR is the one on the hot seat because it's their product. But if they can somehow make it look like it's not on them, then it's a win for them. And that's why my spider sense is tingling, or my disco sense. That disco ball is flashing, and I'm like, something's not right here, and it just feels like politics. Austin Nance says the integrity of the sport is more important than what most people realize. Thank you. That's my point. And even if it's Suarez, that's a bullshit penalty. He should have got hit with points. And I think if they already have a precedent, they hit Gibbs last year, Ty Gibbs, who I don't like, with 25 points. And I believe 25K. So the money is meaningless. But the 25 points, that's a fucking good hit. That's almost an entire race. Not really, but it's a big points hit. Especially with the way the point system is today, 25 points is a pretty big hit. So that would have been appropriate. Barn Burner Gaming, someone else who I guess is new here. Welcome. Parts were never run, therefore no effect on points of performance. Teams, however, did choose to adjust the parts to make it fit without consent. Team fined, crew chief suspended. Okay, I've seen people bring this up. and I get it. I'm with you. My problem is this: NASCAR is not doing a good job with consistency, and they're not doing a good job really in translating what the rules are and what the penalties for violating those rules are. And there's a confusion there. And that's my point. If this is the way it is, then going forward, you got to do this consistently. And nobody knows. So you're going to have a split fan base now. People that are fans of Hendrick love it and they're going to defend it. People who don't like them or are concerned about the integrity of the sport, they're not going to like it. So you're going to have this really split base. Meanwhile, NASCAR gets to say, it's not on us, it's on this appeals panel. So it's just bad. And all I want is consistency. So if this is the way it is, I can accept it. But you got to be this way across the board. I don't fucking even remember. I think the what was the penalty with Keselowski? They were fucking around with the rear windshield, I think. Don't mark me on that, but they got fucking hit. They got hit hard. And they did not win any appeal. So what the fuck? That's my point. R. Lakani says, who decides the appeals panel and why do they have motives that they do? I don't know. That's what I'd like to know. Who is this appeals panel? Motorsport appeals panel. How do you become a member? That's a pretty uh, big position. Because when you think about it, you have to decide something that is very important. And it affects these teams. It affects their money. It affects sponsors. There's a lot of things at play here. There's nobody's going to convince me that this appeals panel is just there with a fucking halo floating over their head and just trying to do the right thing. Don't I'm sorry. I've been alive too long. I've seen too many things and I'm sorry. Those positions are kind of open, to have funny business happen. So I don't know. Na- NASCAR Kid Formula GT says NASCAR is just plain favoritism. And see, look, am I gonna go that far? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not. Is it fair? I don't know. But that's my point. That you create this atmosphere where people are either gonna think one thing or another. And then you're going to get conspiracy theories. Then you're going to get people saying, oh, they have their favorites. Then you're going to say they're doing this because of it. It's like you have a rule book. And like I said, these rule books are this fucking thick. There's no scenario that you can come up with that they can go in that rule book and say they don't have a way to deal with it or a penalty. What is the penalty if this happens? Just be transparent. Show people or have the show the teams. And this is what's going to happen to you if this happens. We don't want to hear shit about, well, we didn't know, we didn't test with it. We were only testing. We didn't do this. So it's like anytime you leave a loophole and you're not clear on it, what do you expect? It's going to be a shit show. JC1424, watch Hamlin not get his points back and all hell breaks loose. Well, look, what do they do with him? I mean, I don't fucking know. Everything's it's all up in the air, man. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I got to say one thing. If he didn't open his mouth, he wouldn't even be there cuz NASCAR wasn't going to even bring it up. He took the opportunity and he wanted to feel like, look, guys, I'm tired of hearing shit and I never really did anything about Chastain and I finally fucking did something. And guess what? You did it at a dumb time. You pay people back, you wait So there's a good opportunity to do it where you can really send a message. Now he did this, he bragged about it, and now guess what? And in the future, there's maybe a better opportunity. And now if you do anything, then people are gonna say, well, you paid him back, and now you're fucking wrong, right? So it's like I don't think he's that smart. It's kind of dumb. Uh, but he ratted himself out. Bobby Birch says Hendrick is saying that because they found it before qualifying, they don't get penalized, which don't make sense. Look, I'm done. I'm just done. Um, it's so they are making it more confusing. NASCAR's making it confusing because they're like, well, they deserve the penalty we issued, and we disagree with this appeals panel. The appeals panel fucking neutered the penalties. Because see, the appeals panel, if they would have came out and said, look, this is what we found. The teams are not at fault because this and this and this. So they didn't actually violate anything. There was a misunderstanding. So we rescind the penalties. At least then, yeah, you're still going to get people say, what the fuck's going on? But at least it would excuse what the appeals panel's doing. Because then you could say, this is why we fucking reined in the penalties. But they're not even doing that. They're saying, um, yeah, there was shit that was violated, but we're only doing this, we're getting rid of this. And then it's like it is what it is. It's such a mess. Let's see. NASCAR Kid Formula GT, they can't abide by their own rules, and it's disgusting. That's my point. They have fucking rules in place. What is so hard to understand? A rule gets broken, there's a penalty in place. And they're acting as if, I don't know what we're going to do. We need to look at this. We need to look at a million different camera angles. And they're basically also telling you it's their sport, but they can't really police it. This appeals panel is really going to be used as a buffer so that NASCAR doesn't have to face criticism. I'm sorry, that's not working on me. And it's not going to work on you guys. You know why? Because you guys are smart enough to listen to me and watch my channel, and we are part of, like, I was gonna say woke, but people don't know what fucking woke means. But your mind is uh you're not a lemming, right? So you're not gonna be fooled. And that's my job, to let you guys know why this is going on. And that's what this appeals panel is. It's a buffer. And now NASCAR gets to play, oh, we're pissed. Nobody, who's even, I guess if you really look hard enough, you could find out who's in this appeals panel. But I don't fucking. I see some champagne glasses toasting. So yeah, cool. That's a good thing. NASCAR Kid Formula GT. I don't care what everyone says about Gen 7 car. It was rushed out early. Um, yeah, look, the car does have some issues. Um, there are things I like about this car. They do need to keep working on it. Um, the safety issue still, is a question. But here's the other thing, talking about inconsistencies in NASCAR, that's the other thing. They always talk about safety when it benefits them. But you look at this weekend, you see this fucking shit show, all these shopping cars smashing into each other on the restarts and into that fucking corner, just like in the Indy road course. Where is the safety talk? Nobody's mentioning the word safety, not NASCAR, not anybody. People are using the word entertainment. They're not talking about safety. So, where's the fucking safety concerns? This is the inconsistencies that I fucking hate. If you're really about safety, Why are we racing at Atlanta? Why did you turn it into a fucking garbage pack racing event? There's nothing more dangerous than pack races. So even contemplating adding more uh, pack style racing anywhere, it flies against the idea of safety. Okay, don't get me started on pack racing again. Let me stop. D. Dickens, hey, hello, welcome. Ben Horton, hey man, good to see you. Same here, man. Bobby Birch, can't wait till MSG go out of business. These people, I don't fucking get it. There is definitely some weird shit going on. These people, for them to still be hanging on, I'm really waiting to hear more. There's more news coming soon. Uh, so when it happens, I'll talk about it. What if? What are you doing here? Glad you made it. I was told you were live streaming. I'm sorry. If I would have known you were live streaming, I wouldn't have done the live stream. But glad you made it. Uh, Dylan James TV groupie, just giving him the respect he deserves. Yeah, I don't listen, guys. That whole groupie thing, I was kidding. It was a joke. I'm kind of, you know, I was poking fun that it was a bit over the top. I am appreciative. Um, let's not let's keep it civil. NASCAR Kid Formula GT, Suarez and Bellrick. Okay, so that's what you guys were talking about. Yeah, I didn't really catch it. I thought maybe I missed it. And then, so yeah, I'm not the only one. So they did miss the wreck. So I wasn't aware of it. So yeah, I thought that was a bit, he crossed the line a bit there. He was over aggressive. I can't defend that. So that was a pretty, he was being aggressive. But, you know, if you look at last year's race, he got punted out of the race last year. Same fucking race. He was also running well. Same thing, turn one, that fucking 6, 7 wide cars. And he got punted last year. Same thing happened this year. No excuses, but I'm just saying, I'd be pissed too. And that's probably why he's driving a bit extra aggressive. But if I was Bell, I'd be pissed. And I hope he spoke to Bell. No defense. I don't know what to say. Um, oh my God. I hate when I scroll with the mouse and it goes all the way down. I got to find my way back. Okay. Bobby Birch, NASCAR can control anything related to NASCAR, so why are they complaining? Yeah, that's my point. It's like you're fucking NASCAR. You're the sanctioning body. But this appeals panel, it's like you're like, oh, it's not our fault. That's why I'm like, this is politics, guys. I'm telling you, that appeals panel exists so that these types of decisions can be made and NASCAR can wash their hands and say, it's not our fault. That's what it is. That's what I suspect. My disco ball is fucking flashing. And I'm telling you, that's what my instincts tell me. Austin Nance says, as a Harvick fan, if he did something out of line, I'd want NASCAR to drop the hammer. Yeah, it's okay, right? We all have favorite drivers. We're all fans. But man, I got to tell you, and it's not just NASCAR. I just fucking hate when sports fans they have blinders on. And then if it's their guy or their team, they feel this way. And if it happens to someone else they don't like, they feel completely different. That's not good for the integrity of the sport. I want to see NASCAR succeed as a sport. When people watch, I want people to know this is a legitimate sporting event. And we have a generation now of um, just low attention span people who just like I'm tuning in because I want to see WWE. I don't want to see long green flag runs. These people don't appreciate traditional racing. And to them I say, good riddance. If you don't like it, there's the door. And I can say that because again, I bring this up. Look at the ratings. The ratings continue to go down. So this entertainment that everyone keeps saying is a good thing is not. Because the fucking ratings tell you a different story. What if racing? I'm doing okay. Finished up my stream. Disco took away my viewers. Nah. Listen, man. I might have taken away one or two viewers, if that. Right? This is, you know. But I'm sorry. I decided to do a live stream with all this news happening. I flashed up my disco ball, and that's my fucking bat signal to everybody. I'm gonna go live stream. And yeah, if I'd known you were live streaming, I would have waited. But thanks for joining. And now that you're here, Elite Precision, I see he's in the chat. One last time, I don't want to beat people to death with it, but somebody who knows what they're doing, I really think that iRacing League with YouTubers and this community can work. I think it would be exciting. I think people would tune in. And I mean, I think it's a good idea. I'm not smart enough to do it. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I would screw it up. But someone out there who knows how to run a league on iRacing, that's my idea. I want to see all these guys in the league. What if racing? And maybe we can get other guys like Fabiano, like Winvow, um, uh, Michael Mrucz. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Um, Maybe can get more people in. Imagine a Friday night YouTube iRacing league. I That idea has always been in the back of my mind, and I just it would get me excited about iRacing. So yeah, I'm just throwing that out there, and from time to time, I'm gonna bring it up. Douglas Lintz, welcome. I would like to see iRacing Monster Games or EA Sports make the new game. I'm not crazy about EA, but you know what? I don't care who makes it. I want to see more people make it, but that's not going to happen until Motorsport Games dies or NASCAR is able to pull the license back. I don't understand what's going on with NASCAR regarding the video game side of things. They have never shown any interest in what's happening with their license, with the video game development community. It's like they just issue the license, collect whatever fees they get, and just don't care. Now, there have been rumors that they're trying to get out. I think there might be lawsuits pending. I don't know. So I'm kind of waiting for Mike Straw Insider Gaming. He's the only actual journalist who's been digging and getting information. So I want to make sure to give him a shout out. And if and when he releases information, he said he's working on stuff. I will talk about it. I'm going to give you my take on it and make sure I want to remember to give him credit and, post links and stuff like that. But I got a feeling we're going to get a lot of news. And I'm hoping to find out more about NASCAR. Like motorsport games, all we're going to get are lies and bullshit. I am going to talk about it, but I'm more interested right now in NASCAR. I want to hear somebody from NASCAR, whoever it is, come out, make a statement, and say, look, this is what's going on with the licensing. This is what we're dealing with. Maybe they're not talking because of pending lawsuits. I don't know. I can only assume. But that's where my focus is right now. It's like, you know what? Blame IndyCar and NASCAR for creating this mess. This was bound to happen eventually. And it never made sense to me. Even with 704, when they came out with that fucking 9-10 year deal. And I'm like, why are you doing this? So why would anyone commit to, hold on a second, let me check my battery. Okay, I'm good. Why would anyone commit? Why would anyone commit to such a long deal with a video game developer? It doesn't make sense. It just shows me that NASCAR is clueless. They don't really follow what's going on, and they're missing the beat. I've talked about this earlier this year. The importance of having a good NASCAR game that can bring in a fresh new fan base. Why do you think you got a new generation of fans watching NASCAR races who have such a short attention spans? Because they're used to doing these quick races at Daytona, Talladega, in the heat games, and all of this garbage. They don't even learn what real racing is. Long green flag racing, tire management. You know, that's what I grew up on with the Thunder Series. I learned to appreciate NASCAR because of those games. How many of you guys came to NASCAR and became NASCAR fans because of the video games? I'm sure a lot of you have. So NASCAR is clueless. It's like you can't, you got to stop with the exclusivity. Anybody who's willing to make NASCAR games, give them the opportunity. You got to cultivate a fan base that can enjoy these games and actually become fans of the sport. So you don't have a generation of sports fans who are just enjoying a fucking wreck fest and all these fucking gimmicks. Let me get back to the comments. Okay, Hunter says, here is the people who are in the appeals panel. Okay, whoa, we're gonna get people. I guess it'll let me keep scrolling down. Can the appeal panel appeal the motorsport games contract? LOL. Yeah. Something tells me that this panel probably would help motorsport games instead of actually do something. JC 1424, Disco's army of woke free thinking individuals. Yeah, you know what? I'm proud to know that, most of you guys are pretty free thinking. Even when you disagree with something I say, we have this dialogue, right? And I'm proud of that. That's what the best you could hope for. That you can have these discussions and it doesn't break down into a bunch of fucking kids in the comment section or people using the word hater. Oh, you're just a hater, you know. And I like that. I just want people that are mature enough to get what I'm saying. And if you disagree, yeah, we can have that discussion. But, you know, yeah, so Elite Precision, what's up, Disco? They said Bill Lester is part of the appeal panel. Oh my God, don't say that. I actually like Bill Lester, but I haven't seen him in a long time. So I don't know, man, which is kind of random. Yeah, that is kind of random. But you know something? Like I said, I sense politics being involved. And what would you do if you want a political panel? You need a token. You need somebody in there where people can look at and say, oh, it's not just a bunch of white guys making certain decisions about certain people. So you got to cover your bases. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a woman in the panel, right? You got to have representations that you can look at and say, oh, look, it's a diverse panel. I trust them. So I honestly believe this panel serves as a buffer for NASCAR. Why do you're the sanctioning body and you can't rule? Man, I remember back in the old days when Brian France Jr. or Bill France, I should say not Brian. Why did I say Brian? Bill France and Jr. They ruled with an iron fist. You remember? I heard people like Earnhardt, Petty, all of these old school drivers. They used to say it when you got called into the fucking office. It's like everybody understood. There's certain things you can do, some certain things you can't do. And when they fucking dropped the hammer or they said something to you, you respected it. There was no fucking appeals panel. It was fucking Bill France. It was France Jr. later on. Now it's corporate. It's very corporate. And now they come up with this appeals panel to give you the illusion that there's some kind of fair play going on. That's what it is. I like Bill Lester, but I just have a feeling it's like they can put him in there. I've never heard a bad word about Bill Lester. I've never heard anyone say they don't like him. I mean, he's a likable guy. So you put a guy like that in the panel, then it's hard to attack the panel. That's why they do it. You're not going to fool me. Yeah, that is random. All right, hold on. Fuck, man. I hate when I every time I scroll the mouse down, it goes down like all the way down. Okay. Which is better, Atlanta or Coda? Don't put me in that position. Look, okay, you know what? Gun to my head. I actually could say that if you can get past that first corner by some miracle and you actually get into green flag racing, Coda's better. Coda's better. But that first turn is a problem. The design of that track for stock cars, it's bad. But yeah, Coda's better than Atlanta. Because Atlanta, it's just pack racing. It's just a fucking conga line. I don't care. You're going to get the same predictable racing there every time from beginning to end. I'm never entertained by Atlanta, Daytona, or Talladega. The last lap, okay, because you think somebody might get killed. So I'd be lying if I didn't say it didn't get your fucking attention. But that's not why I tune in. So yeah, Coda is easily better than Atlanta because if once you do get green flag, it's actually not bad. I'm telling you, I was honestly entertained in that green flag run. It was actually shaping up to be a good race, really good. And they fucked it up. And I can't do what a lot of people are doing and say, well, if you just ignore the end, it was a good race. No. The fucking first lap of the race was a joke. Caution. They couldn't complete a first lap without a caution. Then they went to commercial several times. By the time the fucking race got back to green flag, it felt like an eternity. And nobody talks about that. Everybody's just like, oh, the race was all good until the end. No. But I have to admit, that middle part of the race, I enjoyed it. And that's what bothers me so much that, and it's going to end this way every time they come back. Andy Pegasus Tate says Motorsport Games is having game companies held at gunpoint. It's the licenses, they're just holding it. And that's why they're lying to people about still being working on the game. Because if they come out and say, well, we're in trouble, we're still losing money, nobody's working on anything, we're in trouble, then when somebody does say, I'll take the license off your hands, they can't ask for a king's ransom. They're trying to drive the fucking the negotiating up. Because they already admitted at the end of last year in December that they were open to negotiating for the licenses. They admitted it. But they're going to try to raise the value to put themselves in a better negotiating spot. That's what they're doing. That's what these lies are all about. But the other developers aren't dumb. They know what's going on with this company. They're just going to sit back and wait. And if they do like talk to them, they're going to walk away laughing because Motorsport Games is going to give them a ridiculous asking price. And that's what's going on. All right, Brian Burley. I stepped out. LOL, my groupie comment was an absolute joke. How are we still talking about? Okay, forget about that. Everybody knows we're just all joking. We're good. Who's your final four after 6 races? It's too early. Um, look who won at Daytona, and he's in the playoffs. Ricky Stenhouse. So this winning you're in is a joke. These races, look at this shit show. I don't. It's too early. You got to ask me. Maybe in another 10 races, I think that's a good stretch. We'll get a better idea It's too early right now. Motorsport Games is having game companies. Okay, I read that. I'm sorry. Here we go. I got to scroll down. People had to use NASCAR in-car cams to see what happened. There you go. Fox always missing the fucking. And Mike Joy, I'm telling you, he will defend it to the end. He's a fucking corporate tool. Let's see. Final four will be Byron, Larson, Bowman, and Bush. Uh, it wouldn't shock me. That's a good. Those are good picks. You know, they're fucking good. JC 1424. If I think if you were monetizing this channel, you'd be making quite a bit of money. But figure just feel you don't need or want it. Um, I don't I don't think I'd be making money because you need a lot of viewers. You need a lot of subscribers. It's a small channel. It's a handful of subscribers. I appreciate those of you who are here. I never ask people to like and subscribe, and I don't want to do it. And I don't really need the money. I don't want to turn into and I don't fault I want to make clear before I go further, I don't fault people who do it for a living, right? This is a legit way to make money. I don't have a problem with that. So I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I'm just talking about for me, I don't I don't do it for that. And if I tried to monetize it, I don't think I'd make money because I think you need a lot of subs and you need a lot of viewers. Um, so I appreciate it, but yeah. Bobby Birch, if NASCAR was consent, it would be better for NASCAR. Uh, I don't know what you mean. Maybe it's a typo. What if racing? It's okay. I'll have some good material to watch after the stream is over to catch up. Haha. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm just glad you came in and joined the chat even for a little bit. Brian Burley, Maroots. It's pronounced MMM Roots. Okay, all right. I'm lost. Aaron Van Slambrook. Imagine Disco and Captain Sleeveless as teammates in iRacing YouTube League. You know what? If we have a league, I would love for him to be in the league. Let bring it on. Bring Captain Sleeveless in the league too. You know, I'm not I really try not to let me leave it alone. But if he was in the league, that I think that would be funny. I wouldn't mind. I'm not against it. I want to be in a fucking league so bad. It really elevates the level of enjoyment for me. It makes me feel like I'm in a career at least somewhat, and I'm racing for something. And to be racing against other YouTubers, that would be so cool, man. It's like I really hope at some point somebody decides to do it, and then maybe we can lure people like other YouTubers with channels to like, hey, you want to be part of this? We're gonna do a league of YouTubers, and then add people. But yeah, that would be funny. Captain Sleeveless and Disco forced to do tandem drafting. Oh my God. Yeah, I might make some mistakes there. Aaron Van Slambrook. LOL. Would would solve world peace if they draft. That's funny. Um, Look, man, it seems like he's finally fucking. I don't know. I don't want people to feel like I'm open to people. Who the fuck am I, right? I don't want to make it like I shouldn't even be saying anything else. I'm gonna stick to, when I have criticisms, I want it to be legit. I don't want to turn it into something else. But some of these comments are funny, so I appreciate it. Let's see. John Public, hey, what's up, man? Glad you made it. What's up, Disco? Hope all is well tonight. Mr. Disco Ball Signal. That's okay, man. You know what? It was my first time doing that, and I think that's gonna be my thing. So when I announce a live stream or something, or even an upcoming video, I'll post that Disco Ball there, and you guys know that's gonna be like the bat signal. Uh, yeah. So, but I'm here. Good, man. NASCAR Kid Formula GT, lack of respecting NASCAR, I meant. Yeah, listen, man. Listen, I agree. There is a lack of respect. This new generation of drivers. I've talked about it before, okay? But there's a lot of things at play. And I think at certain tracks, it does get worse. It was a fucking horror show at the Indy Road Course. It was a horror show at Coda, and it was a shit show last year at Coda as well. Um, these pack races at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta, you know, those type of tracks attract bad decision making. And yes, there is a problem with a lack of respect. But you look at certain tracks, these things seem to happen much more at those places. And that's why I say you got to be smart about all those things. Talking to these drivers is not going to do anything. They're going to do this shit again. Look at Ross Chastain. He was all the way in the back. Okay? All the way in the back. And in just a couple of green, white checker restarts, he ends up fucking fourth. And the people that dove bomb and created that mess, I don't think I think they all got good finishes. So you get rewarded for doing that stuff. And that's why I don't want to keep harping on this. It's just 2 weeks in a row of fucking garbage. Atlanta, then Code. So I'm really, now I got to hope that Richmond puts on a good show. And so, Richmond lately hasn't been all that good. I got to hope that the lower downforce helps, but it didn't seem to make a huge difference at Phoenix. I don't want to be negative. I'm going to keep an open mind, and I hope to see some good racing at Richmond because to have these back to back to back shit shows that people all week, that's what they're talking about. This is not good. This is not good. You should be talking about the racing, not all this other extracurricular garbage. So hopefully it's a good, clean, entertaining race. And that's I got my both hands, fingers crossed. Let's see. Aaron Van Slambrook. I became a NASCAR fan with the Thunder Games. F1 fan with F1 2013. I hear a lot of my friends becoming F1 fans just because of the games. Thank you. I've been saying this forever. Give me a second, guys. I need some more water. I keep telling people the video games are a portal to learning about F1, NASCAR. Um, I don't fucking get it. It's like if I was, uh, I should say, one of these suits at NASCAR, high up, I would be looking at this and saying, um, our brand, right, is in the garbage. And a big reason is for 10 fucking years, I keep seeing uh, the gaming community complaining about NASCAR games. Nobody's happy. The games are not satisfying people. Everybody's still talking about a game from 20 fucking years ago. What's going on? When somebody is hurting your brand, that's an eye opener. You should react to that. Okay? It started at the end of EA. And I got to remind people, I still see people who want EA. EA started going downhill after about 2006. 2006 was actually the beginning of the downfall. It was still a decent game. I'm not saying it wasn't, but it was not as good as 2005. It was that wasn't as good as 2004. And then it just got really bad. And I know everybody loved 2009 because of the online, but that's not why people buy these games. They want a career mode. They want to be able to play these games and enjoy them without being online. Online is important, but then we went a year without a game. Then Eutechnics. Then that was fucking garbage. Then came 704 or Dusenberry Martin, which became 704. Yes, they finally did improve the game to a point, but really, it's been 10 years of disappointments. No reaction from NASCAR. They're still just comfortable with these ridiculous 10-year license deals, exclusivity. It doesn't make sense. They're losing fans. Tom Freeman, how are you doing? Thank you for showing up. I became a huge IMSA and WEC fan because of Forza and Project Cars. Yes, yes, you play these games. These games aren't just fun, but they are an educational tool. And a lot of times people go play these games, don't know everything about the sport, but as they play, they're having fun and they start learning. They realize, oh, this is how you make the car tighter, looser, or, hey, these are the little quirks of this track versus this track. And I start learning how to drive better. Then when you watch a real NASCAR race, you feel more connected. You understand what's happening that much more. And as you watch a NASCAR race, you can't wait to jump back onto the game. That's how I felt with the Thunder Series. You know, not understanding the importance of these games as a sport like NASCAR is such a fucking mind blowing. Doesn't make sense. Bobby Birch, it should be where there is three games at one time, like NASCAR 2000, Dirt to Daytona. Yes, I agree, but this is a clusterfuck, and I really want to wait and see what the hell is really going on behind the scenes concerning NASCAR. And hopefully we get some information on that soon. John Public says, I played those PS1 NASCAR games like the one with Molly Hatchet song and Silly Code where you shot other cars with paintballs in the front of your car. Way better than Ignition. Bill Lester's fine. It's Mo you got to look out for. Just kidding. Listen, man, I like Bill Lester, but like I said, I don't trust these panels, right? They exist for a reason. And I know on paper it's like, oh, we are here to make sure that everything is fair. But then you see these weird decisions. And then to me, it's more political. They get to play, they get to be a buffer for NASCAR. You think NASCAR is really that upset? They're going to act upset, but they get to point at this appeals panel and say, it's not us, it's them. There's something fishy there. And I'm just telling you, I don't. Wheeling Lake Erie, welcome. Hendrick gets away with modified parts. Amazing how they get away from losing points. But RFK with Keselowski last year, lost points. Similar issue. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everything's all over the place. I don't remember if they actually raced with it, because that's the other thing people be saying, like, are saying. But man, I just want consistency and clarity. That's not too much to ask for, and NASCAR refuses to do it. Hunter says, if you're curious about who are in the appeals panel, check your Twitter notifications. I sent you a notification. Thank you. Will do. In fact, let me do that right now, real quick. Hold on. No, I don't see it there. Okay, new message. Okay, I don't see it yet. Hold on a second. I want to get this right. Okay, Hunter. I don't see it. Let me check here. These are notifications. Hold on, let me look down real quick. Okay, okay, thanks. It's not NASCAR making the call. See, yeah, these are people. They're. This is what happens. They like, hey, it's not NASCAR's fault. It's this appeals panel. But that's what NASCAR wants. Uh, 50K fine is 11. Okay, that's a post I made about Suarez. You know, that's a joke. It's a $50,000 fine, no points. Um, let's see who runs the show. NASCAR can't enforce their own rules. That's my post. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me see this messages again. Yeah, I don't have anything yet. No. Uh, I'll check it. I'll have to check again at some point. All right. It's running a little late. I want to try to wind this down. I'm going to read some more of your posts, and then, I really got to call it a night. All right, let's see. But thanks for sending the notifications. Okay. What's your rating for Charlotte races? Um, I love the Charlotte races. I mean, we haven't had one this year, but judging by last year, it put on a hell of a show last year. I can't wait to see the next one. JC 1424, you actually exceed the viewership for monetizing by a ton. My channel's monetizing, and you're blowing my analytics through the roof. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I don't want to start thinking about monetization, and that's another thing. You know, when people watch my stuff, I don't want them to have to sit through commercials and stuff. It's not for me. I appreciate it. Um, I don't need it, and I actually enjoy having things the way they are. Um, it's not a big deal for me. I do hope you guys do well monetizing uh, for your channels, and I'm sure your channels are going to grow as well. The criteria is 1,000 subs. I did. Yeah. Somebody told me that before, but yeah. I don't. Bobby Birch 1,000. If NASCAR was consistent, would be good for them. Yeah, consistency. Richmond getting that New Hampshire treatment now. It sucked for so long. People forgot it produced good races last year, especially the spring race. Yeah, I got my fingers crossed, man, for this weekend. I really need just a decent race, right? I don't need to be blown away. This is sports, right? It's not supposed to be predictable, but just give me a good race, man. Um, I'm tired of the shit show. I'm tired of this garbage at the end. I'm tired of fucking boneheads just plowing over people. I just want to see some good hard racing. And like I said, man, Tyler Reddick, even Byron, these guys raced really good, really hard, clean. Um, that they set a good example, man. These are the fucking knuckleheads, man. And I wanted to like Chastain. I can't stand his fucking goofy grin after each race. And this is what happens. They hear a lot about how awesome they are, and then they believe it. They get a swelled head, and then now, like after the race, he's like, "Hey, we're providing entertainment." Like, dude, you're being fucking asshole, and he's actually has the balls to say shit like that, and it's because people are praising him because of that fucking wall ride at Martinsville and blah blah blah. It's like, can you just fucking race a little cleaner? I don't mind a little beating and banging, bump and run. That's traditional racing. But this guy's always involved in some shit. He's not liked in the fucking garage. He's not. EA got lazy, didn't care about a NASCAR game and its fan base. Yeah, that's my point. People forgot those last few EA games were garbage. You helped me understand NASCAR better since I'm new to the sport. Thank you. Um, yeah, man. this new generation of fans, I think, is, I don't know, man. I think a lot of it is tied to these fucking, these games. Like when you went online for the Heat games, all you saw were people running like 7 laps at fucking Daytona Talladega, and then they would just rinse and repeat. You couldn't find races like, oh, let's do a fucking 50% race at fucking Atlanta and just fucking run. It was hard to find those races. It's like everybody's just doing these quick sprints at Daytona Talladega. So then, is it really shocking that you got this fan base with short attention spans who watch these races and that's what they want to see? I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm not saying it's everyone, but I don't think it's a coincidence. JC 1424, Spring Richmond. We saw 4 car battles at the finish. Final five. Yeah, man. Um, I'm hoping to see some of that, man. What is your top 3 Charlotte races? I don't know, man. Last year's Coke 600 is one of them, for sure. The other ones, we've had a lot of good runs through the years. I think going way back to Jamie McMurray's winning in only his second start, subbing in for Sterling Marlin, that was big. That was big. And I was pretty new to the sport. So that's memorable. Um, that's in there as well. John Public, I can't jump into an iRacing league, but maybe a console type league if everyone can decide on a game. Way more are still playing Heat 5 on Steam than Ignition. Yeah, sounds good, but I really want to go iRacing with a league, and I hope somebody takes up my idea and just says, "Yeah, well let's do a fucking league." I'd really look forward to that. Like on Friday nights, it would be awesome. And I see some of these leagues. One of the cool things I enjoyed about being in the league, and I only did it once, is that they actually, you know, live streamed it as a televised presentation. They had fucking announcers. They showed like it was like watching a race on TV. I really like that, and I that would really be the best scenario. And even if it like paying a fee for that, I would love to do it. Um, I don't know. Let's see. We should have no more stages for all tracks. Agreed. We all agree on that. Elite Precision 29. Richmond is overhated recently because of lack of cautions. I actually have enjoyed Richmond. You get everything you want to see in a race: heavy tire wear, multiple grooves, comers and goers. Yeah, I agree. That's traditional racing. And I feel like the people that don't like that or feel bored because like then you're I don't get it. Like that's racing. I agree, and I hope that's what we get. John Public says, I think new fans didn't grow up working with their dads on cars. They grew up online with instant gratification. That's not all of it, but big part of it. That's my point. Thank you. Uh, Bobby Birch says, I think he sent that message. So I'll check it. Let me scroll down through some more. And before I get off, I do see a notification thing. So I'm going to check it out. Let me look at some more comments. I'm not going to get through all the comments. It's almost 9:30, and I'm almost getting ready to go home. I actually have some things I got to do on the job before I leave. So please forgive me. I don't think I'm going to get to everything, but I'm going to read a few more and then try to check the message. Uh, New Hampshire's a different story. 2022 was a 10 out of 10. I think I remember it was pretty good. Let's see. Mark Forget. I was at the race in Charlotte when Jamie McMurray won. Man, I've been to Charlotte. I've been to 2 races there, and I really enjoyed it. It's a really cool racetrack. I had a good time. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make any live races this year, which is sad. I got too much shit going on. But if I don't go this year, I'm next year I'm gonna go to maybe 2 races, and maybe Dover and Pocono again. So yeah, something popped up. Starting a league. Let's go. Yeah, man. Let's fucking go. What if Racing says Bakota is a 9.5? Yeah. Captain Sleeveless gave it a 9.5. I don't know how do you do that and then expect to be taken seriously. Whatever. JC 1424, which NASCAR had a nepotism clause, would apply to sponsorship teams relations. Nepotism has been a part of NASCAR since its inception. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it gets it's pretty crazy. But how do you tell a team owner who he can and can't hire? And that's I don't know how I feel about it. It's like you own a fucking team. You should have a right to hire who you want. So I kind of agree, but at the same time, I don't know, man. It's tough to just come in and say you can't hire your grandson. It's your fucking grandson. You own your own team. One of the perks in life of owning a fucking multi-million-dollar team on a race car team is to if you want to fucking hire one of your kids or somebody, how do you say no? Like you can't do it. It's a free society. So I don't know, man. Let's see. Would have given Coda a 9 if there hadn't been a caution with 15 or go to go. But that's the problem. There was cautions. And 15 laps at Coda is like almost 50 laps at a fucking at Dover, you know, or maybe 40 laps at fucking Charlotte. It wasn't like 10 to go. 15 to go at Coda is a long way. So the last 15 laps were a joke, and it took an hour. An hour. I'm sorry. That really killed it for me. And it is what it is. Um, understood. Have a good night, and everyone else. Yeah, man. I did the live stream way longer than I always say. Oh, I'm gonna do it this long, and I always go longer. But yeah, it's pretty long. I really appreciate you guys showing up as always. The same way it works in American business. Yeah, that's just the way it works, man. I don't like nepotism, but if I owned my own fucking team, you know, am I gonna say I'm not gonna hire my son or somebody that I'm close to, a friend, and give him a spot? If I won't do it if he's clueless, right? But if he kind of knows what he's doing, and I'm gonna have to help him in some way, yeah, I'm gonna fucking take advantage. I own the fucking thing. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's a perk in life. It's just the way it is. I don't like it. Like I don't like fucking Austin Dillon when he came along and whatever. But it is what it is, man. It's Childress's organization. It's his fucking money. Um, yeah, it is what it is, man. Many companies will not allow someone to be hired by a relative. That's true. However, we're talking about corporate America where you have, you know, a board of directors, you are an openly traded public company. You know, once you get into that stage where even the CEO doesn't have full power, then yeah, you're going to have those type of rules. But we're talking about, a NASCAR Cup team, and I don't think, at that stage, it's his fucking team, right? How do you fucking police that? I'm not sure you could. So, okay, I'm not going to read any more comments because I do got to close this. Let me check one more time. Messages. Yes. New message request from Hunter. Thank you. If you're still curious, let's go. View. Okay, Jeff Gluck, appeals panelist. This time it rotates from a high group. Former Truck Series driver Bill Lester, who we did confirm. Hall tractor supplier Kelly Housby. Former Procter and Gamble brand manager Dixon Johnson. Oh my God. The moment I read Procter and Gamble, I'm already my disco ball is fucking flashing in my head. I don't trust these motherfuckers at all. Brand manager for Procter and Gamble. I don't trust these corporate fucking tools. These people all come from another world. I don't trust the integrity of these people. Um, yes, accept. Hold on a second. Sorry. Let me continue read this. All right. Yeah, I don't trust these people. Not at all. Uh, yeah. I don't know who Kelly Housby is. Hall tractor supplier. I don't want to judge anybody I don't know. Kelly Housby. Is that a woman? I don't know. I don't know. Let me take a quick look. Kelly Housby. It's a it's a woman. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. If you're with me. Yes, it's going to be a thing. Thank you. What if? Um what's stupid? The flashing disco. I hope that's not what's dumb, but okay, look. I just told you who it is. Okay? If you remember maybe half hour ago when I was talking about the panel and I was explaining to you how these panels are put together and how they try to make it diverse. I just fucking told you, and I get to say I told you so. So you got Bill Lester, a African American former truck driver. He's the only one that I could say may be legit because he's a former driver, right? I happen to like the guy, but do I really know what his affiliations are, what his ties are? I don't know. But the only one that doesn't make me feel uncomfortable is him. This Kelly Housby, what did I tell you? So you got an African American driver, right? So who's going to complain about that? Nobody. Now you got Kelly Housby, some tractor brand manager slash person, whatever. Nobody knows who that is. Checking, it's a woman. I don't, I'm all for that. What I'm trying to point out here isn't the fact that, oh, it's because she's a woman that it's not legit. I'm trying to tell you guys, like I just told you, it's about putting together a group that looks diverse. And people could say, okay, it's not just like, okay, it's just not just a bunch of white guys from a corporate thing. So now you got a brand manager from a tractor thing, and it's a woman, right? And brand manager, whatever. So what else is her background? I don't fucking know, but it sounds pretty corporate. You got Bill Lester, who's an African American former driver. So you can't. Nobody could say something negative about him being there, right? So they're going down the checklist. So when I told you that they're checking boxes, it's political. So the appeals panel, when people look at it, they say, "Oh, okay, it's pretty diverse. You got a woman, you got Bill Lester, and who does Procter and Gamble brand manager Dixon Johnson." So diversity, you got a little bit of everything in there, and so it kind of takes away that whole angle of, you know, is there an ulterior motive? Who are these people? So it's like, oh, look, they got a diverse panel. Therefore, their integrity cannot be questioned. You see what I mean? Those are politics, political games. And I'm just telling you guys, I sense this stuff coming a mile away. And NASCAR, this is they love this. This is their buffer. And if people do complain, they go like, "Don't blame us, blame this panel." Then you go to blame the panel, and I'm telling you, half the people that go there to blame the panel say, "Oh shit, look who's there, Bill Lester. He's a pretty down to earth, cool guy. He used to be a truck series driver, you know, and if because he's African American, that might influence some people. Say he just, you know, he doesn't. There's nothing about him that comes across as corporate or being on the take. So can I really attack him? Maybe not. Then I look at this. Who's this Kelly Houseby? Hall tractor supplier, blah, blah. Oh, it's a woman. Okay, hey, it's very diverse. It's a woman on the panel. I have to respect her judgment, right? Because I don't want to question a woman, right? See how it works? And again, it is speculation on my part, but my fucking, my senses tell me this is what it is, man. It's all fucking. It's a show. It's a shell game. They're just moving the blame. NASCAR gets to say, we tried. It's not on us. This panel, what do they care? They don't really do anything else, or whatever the else they do. This doesn't affect them. So what if people complain about them? They're taking the heat off of NASCAR. So I just fucking told you guys, like less than an hour ago during the live stream, I said, I guarantee you that's what it is. And you're going to have a diverse panel, and that's what it is. So consider yourselves better educated than the average, person, because you get to come here and you get to learn about politics. You get to learn about not being a lemming and just figuring out how to spot all the little telltale signs while the rest of Twitter, the rest of social media is busy arguing about, you know, uh, who's to blame, who's it. That's what they want. They're doing. Everybody's doing this. I'm 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 done. So I wanted to cover this stuff, and I just want to move on to Richmond. And please let this be a normal race. I just want a normal race, man. And NASCAR, you know, I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for because I've only seen maybe two or three people all week long who have said they prefer stage cautions. Everybody else, 99.9% of the people who've actually posted something have all said the same thing, that they loved not having a stage caution and they need to do it everywhere. So your entire fan base is telling you, I'm talking to NASCAR, to stop with the stage cautions, get rid of it everywhere. It doesn't take preparation or planning. Just announce it. Say, guess what? We're not doing cautions anymore. Starting immediately. Just do it. Everybody will have something to be happy with. And guess what? It'll help people kind of get away from all this negativity. But see, these people are not that smart. I don't understand where their brains are. Or maybe I'm fucking clueless. I don't know. But that's the way I would do it. Get rid of these fucking stage cautions for good. Just get rid of it. That's a gimmick that helped hurt the sport. Winning you're in, get rid of that. I mean, whatever. So, let's see. Hold on. Bill Lester not ever winning anything doesn't help his case. Yeah. I don't think, I don't, I know you're joking, but I don't think it matters. Like to me, just the fact that you were a professional race car driver, you understand that world. Um, you need a guy on, if you're going to do a fucking panel, you can't not have a driver there. So that's why he's there. because they gotta. You can't not have. It would delegitimize the appeals panel to the mass public, um, and that's why he's there. Procter and Gamble sponsored teams. I bet so. What does some brand manager know about the cup cars and if they've been modified? Probably can't even change a tire. Listen, man. Look, my issue isn't so much that everybody on the panel has to be have knowledge of the car. They just have to have a working brain where they can look at the rules, look at the penalties, and then see, did NASCAR follow their own protocol, and does it make sense? You don't need to be an expert in NASCAR. You just have to have common sense. That's it. I could do it. I don't want to do it because it's tedious. You really do have to go through the rules book, but for me, it's politics. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. During the fucking live stream, that's what it is. It's a buffer for NASCAR. And they did check every box. You got a woman, you got an African American former driver, and you got this, I don't know, Dixon Johnson from Procter and Gamble. Just hearing the words Procter and Gamble automatically give me uh, just makes my spine chills through my spine. Um, so there you go. So you learned a little about what's going on today. Um, I doubt you're going to see too many people on social media actually bring those things up. So let's see, where are we? Hold on. Um, I can't keep reading these guys. I gotta go. It's 9:42. All right, look, I'm gonna call it. Let's see. They reproved cheating, but diversity above all else. Who cares? Two on the panel have no expertise on cars. Um, all right. Hey, Volts. Thanks for showing up. Sorry, I'm signing off. It's over 2 hours now, I think. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys enjoy the live streams. Um, yeah, when you think something is sus, there's a disco ball. That's how it works in my brain. Let's see. They should have at least one mechanic engineer on the panel. Listen, that's a good point. Okay. I'm just saying that for me, this is more about just being kind of a lawyer, just saying, look, what's the rule book? What happened? And did you follow protocol? Do these penalties follow the rule book? Because I'm telling you, every penalty, there's a penalty for every violation. They have a fucking book. I promise you, it's super thick. So, you know, yeah. Okay, guys, look, I apologize. I gotta go. I gotta get ready to leave. I got shit to do. I'm at work. Thanks for coming tonight, guys. As always, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream and the conversation. I did. And I hope you guys maybe now you're looking at this in a different way, right? This whole appeals thing, what's really happening, and these penalties. It's just this is hurting the credibility of the sport. And I can say, as a Suarez fan, he got a slap on the wrist. If you don't deduct points, you're not doing anything. 50,000 is a joke, and he should have been hit with some points, and he wasn't. So I'm not co-signing it. I'm not a blind fucking fan, fanboy who's gonna just judge things based on who's affected. I don't like that. As I don't like when sports fans do that in any sport. So my main concern is the integrity of NASCAR as a sport. And they are doing everything in their power to fuck it all up. They just don't seem to care about integrity, transparency. So it is what it is. Good night, guys. Thanks for showing up. And always be on the lookout for that disco ball on Twitter. Whenever I'm going to post a video or a live stream, that's how you guys are going to get a notification. Well, you'll get your normal notification on YouTube, but on Twitter, you know, you'll get that disco ball, and you'll know, okay, something's coming. And I try to lock it down to a specific time, but because it's unpredictable, it's not always at a specific time. So you guys know that by now. So thank you. Yep, that's it. Good night. And I look forward to your comments. And next time we can do this. Thanks.